What's happening, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm bringing you something that I did with the guys at the Curators. So in order to create a little bit more community while we're isolated in our homes, the guys there asked me to put on an online session for them. Not only that, I tried to incorporate exercises which are going to benefit them on a day-to-day basis. So obviously we're not as active at the moment. We're sitting on our bums at our desks, lots of rounded shoulders, arch backs, and it could be very bad for you. So I've got 9 exercises which I'm going to take you through today. I did it with a team the other day and they may help if you incorporate these into your daily routine. So as I said, 9 exercises, all about opening up your shoulders, posture, creating a nice strong core, and also turning on our glutes. We're obviously sat on our bums quite a lot at the moment, not very activated, so we want to make sure that we're keeping them engaged so it balances your body from front to back. Actually, on that point, a lot of injuries come from imbalances in your body, and what we want to do is promote 50% balance in our front and 50% balance in our back. Just showing you sat on a chair, if you're sat down like this all day, your hip flexors are at a 90-degree angle. These are going to tighten up because they're getting used to staying in this position. Also, you're sat on your bum so it's not activated, so what we want to do is do lots of glute activation work, stretch out your hip flexors and promote that balance. So first of all, the exercise I'm going to take you through is called a Y press. What you're going to do is get a little mat on the floor, you're going to lay on your stomach, and this exercise is all about promoting that retraction of the shoulders. So as I say, when you're sat down at a desk on your keyboard, your rounded shoulders, we want to get that set back and make sure that you open up your chest nicely with a good posture. So onto your stomach, you want to create as much space between your ear and your shoulder as possible. Again, not rounding up. You're going to lift your stomach off the floor, push your hands above your head, nice and slowly, and retract them back in, keeping a nice open chest, shoulders retracted, shoulders away from your ears, and you're pushing up like so. So let's go 12 to 15 reps there, nice and slow and controlled, and then we're moving on to the next one. So as I said, when you're sat at a desk, your legs are at a 90-degree angle, it's going to tighten up your hip flexors, so it's important we stretch these out. So all you're going to do is come onto your front leg, drop your back knee to the floor, making sure that you've got your hips tipped under. We're just going to lean slightly forward into that. Now, a lot of people will just lean into that stretch and you'll start to feel it in your hamstring and you won't feel it as much in this leg. By tipping your pelvis under, squeezing your bum, you can feel a nice long stretch in there. If that's too easy for you, you can also pull your back leg up. So hold your ankle at the back. You're going to come into that stretch, and again, making sure you tip your pelvis under to feel that nice stretch in the front of that leg. You're just going to ease yourself into it, like so. There we go. Try and hold it for about a minute on each side, switching over, and do maybe 2 or 3 reps each leg. Okay. As I said, we're sat on our bums, glutes aren't very activated, so we want to make sure that we're incorporating exercise into our daily routine that is going to switch them on. So one of the first ones you can do is a reverse lunge. So you're going to stay with your feet next to each other, just about shoulder width apart. You're going to step back with your leg, drop your knee to the floor. Again, you'll feel a nice stretch in the front of that leg. You're stretching out your hip flexors, but also you'll feel a lot of involvement of your glutes. And as you press back up, you're pressing through that front leg, which is working the glute. The further back you lunge, the more of your glute is going to be incorporated in that movement. Oppositely, you keep it nice and close, it's going to work your quad more. So there's an exercise you can get in. We're going back onto the floor for a Superman complex. So similar to the first exercise I showed you with the Y press, this is all about opening up your chest, working those back muscles so you can retract your shoulders and keep that good posture. So what we're going to do, from our stomachs, we're going to go 3 front raises, 2, 3, and you should feel this in your mid back. We're then going to put our chest to the floor and do 3 of the opposite, so 3 leg raises, 2, 3, and this one should really fire up your glutes. You should feel this in your bum, nice tight squeeze to get those legs off the floor. And then the last 3 we're going to do is both together. Again, working both of those areas that you just isolated separately. So you're going to go 3 of them, aim for 10 to 12 rounds of that. So you're going to go 3 up, 3 legs, 3 both together, and try and do that 10 times. Okay, from here we're going to start to work our spine. So again, when you're sat down, you're hunched over, haven't got good posture, and you really want to limber up and mobilise your spine. So you've got 3 areas of your spine, and its natural alignment is in a curve. Basically, what we're going to do for the first one is come onto all fours, get your hand behind your head, and you're just going to touch your elbow to the other elbow and reach around as far as you can, just really opening up your spine. We're just going to do 5 of these each side, and again, aim to repeat that 3 times. Good. If you want to make that a little bit more difficult, you can add a press up into it, and we're going to rotate at the top of the press up. So still trying to keep your hips nice and tightly locked in. It's going to be easier when you're on your knees. When you come up off your knees onto your feet, you need to work that a little bit harder to keep that in. But with that, you're going to incorporate and engage your core a lot more. So you're going to press up, and as you come to the top, reach up as far as you can, again making sure the hips are locked in and the movement is coming from your torso. Opening out nice and wide, lowering to the floor, and repeating on the other side. So there you go, there's a little variation for you that can progress that exercise and make it that little bit more difficult. Okay, next we're going into a hip thruster. So again, this is an exercise that's going to work your glutes. As we sat down all day, they're not working very hard, so it's important to engage them to really get that balance. So you lay on your back, get your heels as close to your bum as possible, and driving through your heels, you're going to drive your pelvis towards the ceiling. So stabilise yourself with your hands, drop your head back to the floor, pushing through your heels, driving up to the ceiling. Have a little pause at the top, squeezing that bum nice and tight, and you should feel that working nicely. Let's go 12 of them again, 3 to 5 reps, 3 to 5 rounds, sorry. Good. Right, hip thruster. Next, we're going to go into an all-4 position, and this is a real good core stabilizer. So you're going to come up onto all fours, and doing an alternating hand with an alternating leg, you're going to stretch out as far as you can, making sure you keep your core nice and braced, and then returning to that all-4 start position. So from here, nice flat back, you're going to lift your leg and your hand out at the same time. You should feel your glute working at the back, and then you're going to return to the 4 position. Like so. Again, making sure you keep your core nice and braced, hold it at the top of the movement, and then coming back in. If that's too difficult, feel free to drop to your knees and do exactly the same. Making sure you keep your hips locked in, opening out like so, and coming back to the beginning. Okay, back onto your feet. We've got 2 exercises to go. This one again, we're going to work on twisting and mobilising our spine, and again engaging those glute muscles. So you're going to take a step forward, drop to the floor. The knee that you've stepped out, you're going to twist over it as far as you can, recenter yourself, and then come back up to the start position. You're going to repeat that on the same leg 12 times. Come back. And then once you've done 12 on that leg, you're going to switch over to the other one, and again, try and repeat that 3 to 5 times. One more. Nice, good. And the last one, we're going to do a plank walkout, or an inchworm. So you're going to start on your feet, shoulder width apart. We're going to bend down, hinging at the hip, touch the floor. We're going to walk our hands out as far as possible, maintaining that nice braced core. Go as far as your body allows you to go. Nice straight back, tight core, and then you're going to walk yourself back in, and stand up. Again, this is great for keeping a nice braced core. You're working and stretching your hamstrings as you come down here, and it's just getting you moving. So do that a couple more times. Again, 12 reps here. Making sure that you keep a nice distance from your shoulder and your ear. We don't want any hunched up like this. Coming back in to the start position. Like so. So there's 9 exercises. You can do that a few times a week. It's just going to help with your posture. So all of those exercises then we're either involved with retracting the shoulders and setting them down and away from your ear, or we're bracing the core. Imagine as you're sat down, you want to keep a nice tight core, no flexion of the spine, no extension of the spine either. You want to have nice posture as you sat down. And the other area we were targeting was our glutes. So as I say, you sat down on your bum, they're not fired up. When they're not fired up and your hip flexors are tight, it means that you're putting more emphasis through the front part of your body, and it just creates an imbalance in your body. So, as I say, there's an example of something that I did with the Curators this week. Online sessions are available with me. If you want to put something together to make your team feel like more of a community, I can do a workout for you guys. If not, take advantage of this free content. Share this with your team if you know you're sitting at a desk more than usual, and this will really, really help create that good posture, make sure you've got no injuries, and promote balance in your body. Cool. Subscribe to the channel, watch my other content, and until next time, Temps out.